first quest of the sons of Tuiran, apples of great worth, from the golden garden of wealth and wisdom in the east of the earth. The brothers flew with falcons' wings, carried off their treasures, though a sorceress and her sisters with lightning scorched their feathers. They flew on to the foot of Olympus, seeking the skin of the swine that transformed suffering into strength and water into wine. In the wardrobe of wandering wordsmiths, they went to the king of Greece, asked the pigskin from his palace for a pledge of peace. When he filled it up with gold to bargain with instead, they snatched the skin away, and with swinging swords they fled. By that same way they also won the spear from Persia's lord that lived in water, for it burned as hot as a fiery forge. They pledged their swords to serve the king of Shurgar's fighting force, and stole away his ocean-sweeping chariot and horse. Leaving many mighty men with sword wounds on their breasts, those left alive spread the words of their quarrels and their quest. They sailed to the golden pillars, but Aesol the king already knew what bravery and battles they would bring. When they came for his enchanted pigs, he granted their request, on one condition, that he sailed with them on their quest. He knew full well that they would seek the king of Yorway's hound. The queen was Aesol's daughter, and he wished her safe and sound. So with their newfound ally on board, King Aesol the wise, they sailed north to Yorway, land of frost and ice. When Yorway's king refused them, even with Aesol aboard, they leapt ashore and won the hound from him with strength and sword. Two brothers, scattered soldiers, that safeguarded the king's wife, Brian the eldest caught the king and offered him his life. In exchange he gave to them his mighty menacing hound, and the brothers sailed to Erin with all that they had found. To pay off their blood fine to Lugh with the treasures they retrieved, but little did they know Lugh had one more trick up his sleeve. As Lugh looked out, the sons of Tuiran sailed to the shore, wielding wondrous weapons they'd won for the coming war. But Lugh would not forgive his father's fate so easily. He wove a spell, a song of forgetting, on the waves of the sea. So they gave no more thought to accomplishing their quest. Their only thought was to return to hearth and home and rest. In Maclear's coracle they came home, thinking their quest complete, laid the tools and treasures they'd won at King Nuada's feet. Proudly then they went back home to greet their family, when Lugh let go of his enchantment on their memory. Now you have let go of all the wonders that you won, said Lugh, without their aid must your last quest be done. For a cooking spit I want the branch that burns under the sea, and victory cries on a hill before you bring that prize to me. On the hill of Miochen you must set your traitorous feet, where everyone who challenges the guards meets with defeat. They sailed farther out to sea than they had ever been, searching for Caer, lost isle of the sea-born faerie queen. Lost and lonely, by the wise old salmon they were saved. He showed them where the sea queen dwelt within the wild waves. The sea fae welcomed Brian, to their underworld he came, where 3 times 50 maidens tended to their secret flame. For love of you we give you what you cannot claim as yours, they sang, for light is sorely needed on dark Erin's shores. The brothers went to Miochen's hill to give the victory cries, each one knowing in his heart they were going home to die. They fought the guardians, but sorely wounded, close to death, they lay down on the ground and gave the cry with their last breath. Their father, Tuiran, gave the branch to Lugh, the shining one. Broken-hearted, he was buried in the same grave as his sons, while Ogma, Tuiran's father, and Anya, Tuiran's daughter, stood with Lugh to fight the foe that came across the water. The champions and chieftains of Erin gathered on Tara's green, led by Lugh, the mightiest host the isle had ever seen. Dagda and Ogma of divine bloodline blew the horns in their hands, and beacon fires lit up every hilltop in the land. Every soldier, every soothsayer, every smith, every sage joined the she-host hidden in the hills from ancient age. Mufgen, mistress of magicians, sang an ancient spell, invoked the aid of Erin's every river, lake, and well. For every sword or shield or spear broken in the fight, Goban, the skilful smith, would forge another twice as bright. With healing herbs, Dianketh and his children sang their spells, made their wounded warriors whole in the waters of their well. Ogma challenged every faerie champion hand to hand, while Dagda's cauldron never failed with food for every man. Morrigan swept overhead with raven's wing and claw, her shadows making weaklings of the hardiest for more. Ruadan, son of exiled Brace, blocked up the healing well and struck Goban, but the smith fought back and Ruadan fell. The cry of his mother, Braid, daughter of Dagda, lingered long, and in that same way fallen friends were mourned from that day on. 9 foster fathers guarded Lugh, afraid he would fall in the fight, but he broke free, swept over the battlefield with blinding light. Lugh faced Balor, his grandfather, as was prophesied. With the burning spear from Tir na Nog, he put out his evil eye. The faerie, foes of Erin, faced defeat on Moytura's plain. Lord Dagda and Lady Morrigan renewed their pact again, but victory was not so easily won for Lugh Longhand. For only by saving Brace's life could he truly save the land. For Brace held secrets no man knew, of farming and forestry. Without him they would face the cold hard winter helplessly. Balor's evil eye had slain King Nuada Silverhand, and it was left to Lugh alone to judge the fate of the land.